All right, what up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel, and welcome to Morning Coffee Thoughts, where I give my thoughts over morning coffee. First things first, guys, I have not had coffee in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I don't know how I did it because I thought it would be impossible to do. But one day I just said, I'm just going to stop drinking it. And I haven't drank it ever since. I'm like, wow, what a day. Second thing, I know I have a gap in between my teeth right now. I know everyone's going to comment that. And I'm going to have it for like 3 weeks. I've basically had like composite bonding between my teeth for like, I don't know, a long time, but I didn't like the last time they did it. And I finally have time now to fix it. So I have to like wait until I get back though for the second appointment. So, anyways, couple announcements. We're considering moving, so we might be moving soon, but I know I've been saying that for a while, so I won't even get you guys' hopes up. Second, we have new show schedule with Christine, Nazarene, and Troy. So they're all going to be doing their own shows with the network. So if you haven't subscribed to them, make sure you guys go do that. And third of all, we have a new sponsor that's coming soon. His name's Dr. Patrick Flynn with the Wellness Way. And he's really awesome. I've been to like his facilities in Wisconsin. And he works with women on like fixing their hormones. So I know I've talked to you guys about like having some issues with my hormones and really trying to fix them. And part of it, I kind of wanted to document like the stuff I'm doing to like fix that. And I know one of them is like I have to eat a certain amount of protein every day. So I'm like getting up on steaks and stuff. Anyway, so I don't know if I'll do that in a second channel or on this one. I might make a second channel for it. We'll see. Anyways, so what I actually wanted to talk about today, now that I get through my 2 minutes of announcements, is I was thinking about how we're never going back to the 1950s. And TradCons, it's so interesting because I saw this clip of Charlie Kirk. And he said that you should marry young, find a woman, men, marry young, and have a bunch of babies. And I thought to myself, are these commentators out of touch or pandering? I don't know. Is it, because Charlie, I'm like, you realize you were dating not that long ago. You know these women aren't trying to get married at 18 anymore. You know they're not traditional. And I thought to myself, and he was saying it's like because of the population collapse or whatever. And Charlie Kirk got married at 27. So he spent 10 years, building himself up, and then he got married. And in a modern day, when women all want the top guy, that makes way more sense for men. That makes way more sense because women don't want to build a man. Now, I know they used to do that like 50 years ago. I know maybe you can go out into the country and like find someone, I'm sure. But guys, even the country women are getting a bit corrupted. They're still going to college in the cities. They're moving to the cities. And these trends aren't going to stop. And I don't say this in a happy way. I was thinking about this. And I was thinking about how in the last 5 years, I am so much more used to seeing naked women. It's so bad. Like, I don't even think twice about it. Like, if I see a girl half naked, it's like I'm just used to it. You go to the beach and there's thongs everywhere. You're just used to it. And the future is going to be more hookers. Like, it's just going to be more sex workers. It's going to be more promiscuity. It's going to be less marriage. And it's not what I want, right? This isn't what Pearl wants. And that's what they always confuse it. They'll always think I'm saying, oh, well, men should just sleep around. And it's interesting. One critique I hear is that men should not sleep with so many women. That's wrong. But women don't tend to want a guy unless he's slept around. And you can kind of hear it in the guy's voice when he hasn't, because he has no experience with women. He doesn't know how to call out his girl when she's acting up. He doesn't know how to stand up to her. He doesn't know how to lead the relationship. And men can really only get that through experience. Now, I'm not saying that it's morally correct, but these are kind of the new tools that men have to use to adapt. So, now we have to think in 2023, the average chick isn't a virgin. Okay, these don't really exist anymore. I've interviewed over 1,000 women. I think I found maybe 5 and 1, I believe. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're gonna tell these guys, and they'll say go to church. And I thought about when I was super like when I was really involved in this church in Milwaukee for like 2-3 years. I mean, I guess there was one virgin chick, but I mean, she was picky as all hell. I mean, as she should be. But should the average guy like wait around for that? So I just kind of was thinking to myself that, and I think this is sometimes where Rolo gets mad. I know he's not my biggest fan. I love him though. I'm such a fan, but anyways. Because it's like the trad cons can come in and say, get married young. But it's only virtue signaling because there's no women to marry. Sorry, Charlie. Like, I'm not saying that they don't exist at all, but the odds of the average guy finding one, it's just kind of a needle in a haystack, And there's research that's been done that said when you take out sex work, overweight, too promiscuous, tattoos, all that stuff, only 5% of women are marriageable. I mean, that's not, so it's like almost like saying get married young is like virtue signaling. Or men don't sleep around. It's kind of virtue signaling. Now, I understand it's tough because if you give this argument, it sounds like you're going against God. And you can't win. Whenever someone brings religion into it, you just can't win. It's like, it's so annoying because the high value man thing, I tried to have a conversation around that. And what'll happen is you'll say, all right, high value men, you have to make this much amount of money. You have to be wanted by other women. You have to be in shape, whatever, right? And then the religious people will come in and say, oh, but a real high value man has a relationship with God. Well, Diane, how do we measure that? Like, which God? Like, and then it just goes down a rabbit hole, okay? But it's interesting because the trad cons will come in and say, give these women traditional treatment. Treat them traditional. But traditional women don't exist. Even the most pure women that I've met on the podcast get way more attention than any woman did in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And no matter how nice of a chick you are, that still changes you. So marriage is going to get older and older. People are going to keep getting married and having kids older. I'm not saying that's what's right, but it's going to be what happens. And so now we're in a time period where the average age of first marriage is 30. And what's also interesting? These guys never know their wives from childhood. I mean, occasionally. I think Michael Knowles did. But they still broke up in college. I'm like, red flag, red flag. You know what I mean? Like, I thought to myself about this. These guys will all talk about the good women that they found, but there's no verifying the women's stories. I mean, most of them met them in their 20s. They were in their 20s. Nothing wrong with that. But is your chick really different than all the other chicks? I doubt it, So it's almost like virtue signaling because what they'll do, and I guess I've probably done this too, is say, all right, I'll give you an example where I've done it. And I didn't mean it to virtue signal, but when you think about it, if I say, guys, we should ban, If I say, guys, we should ban OnlyFans. Okay, we need to ban it. Well, it's not getting banned. And sex work is going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And why is this phone not? Okay. And what are we going to do about it? And even them saying, okay, well, a man should provide. Well, how is a guy going to provide when women are taking their jobs? The guys are like, I'm trying, but they keep giving you guys our jobs. And then the women vote for higher and higher taxes. So now, because of what we've voted for and what we have chosen as women, now I know not every woman's chosen this. I didn't choose it. It was the women before us. But they've told men for 50 years we don't need them. We've taken their jobs. We voted for higher and higher taxes. So now, I mean, the average family is going to need two parents working. Now, I could virtue signal, right? When I have kids, I'll stay with them. But most people aren't in my financial position. And this is just me being honest. So now what am I gonna do to the average person? Like, the average person doesn't really have the choices that I have. So it's kind of virtue signaling when these guys come up, and they're always podcasters. And I'm like, you realize there's coal miners, there's factory workers, like men with 10 times harder jobs than you. You're just a talker. I'm just a talker. We have amazing jobs. Like, this is amazing to have a family and do. You know what I mean? Like, this is the best job ever. But, you know, it doesn't really resonate with like middle America. And the average Joe in America, they're working a job that's a normal job. And we need those jobs to run and do the things we do. So you kind of just have to make tools going forward. So what the guys will do in the red pill, and it's tough because I don't know what to label myself, because I do talk about a lot of like red pill stuff, but I mean, there's guys that have been doing it for 20 years and they're really, really smart guys. Anyways, so I think to myself, the sleeping around is just a reaction, because they don't know how to tell the difference between a good girl and a bad girl. They don't know how to tell the difference between a girl that's making them wait just to mess with them and extract resources from them versus a girl that's genuine about it. So that's why Myron has stuff like sleep with the girl on a first date or get rid of her. It's not because he's this evil guy or whatever. He just wants to screw. I mean, I'm sure he does, like every guy, but it's because this is a tool moving forward because of the mess that we created. And it's funny because instead of pointing the finger at the women and saying, hey, why are you ladies sleeping with 5% of men? They point the finger at the men for sleeping with them when most men can't even do it. And the question is, it's not 1950s anymore. The same way it's not medieval times anymore. I can't cosplay into medieval times. So what do we do moving forward? And I don't really have the answers. I don't know. I don't know if you can outbreed the competition, because, I mean, I have a cousin that homeschooled his kids and half of them came out liberal. And that's kind of similar to the rate in my family that went to, Catholic school, but still. It's still like 50, you know. So I don't really know what the answer is. But I think men, it's not really going to change till men take back power. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. I see more women getting into positions of power. So it's kind of like, well, until that happens, what do you do? I don't know. But let me know what you think in the comments. I might actually make a second channel for over break when I go home, because I'm really trying to fix my hormones because I have issues. So anyways, like the video on your way out, guys. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you next time.